Hi, my name is Francisco and this is my conceptual module presentation. A little bit about the starting point. Last semester I did this project called Trinidad, which was a collaborative musical interface for novices. Music has been always a hobby for me, and I've been interested in the social interactions between players when engaged in a collaborative session, for example, or performance. How do they communicate, and what kind of messages send between each other to synchronize and to, well, at the end make a better music? I've noticed that that communication is not only verbal, it's also physical. You send like messages between each other, making a face gesture or a gesture with your body or even with your own instrument. So I think that this phenomenon is something very interesting to explore, like how do they communicate between each other. So inspired in this jazz trio, I created an interface for three people. One person takes over the rhythm, the other one takes over the melody, and the third one over the bass line. It worked using computer vision and these tracking points as lights, as you can see here in the picture. And people basically operated the interface with the positions of these tracking points. A prototype user testing I did, and it's interesting to notice like the different stages in like how people learn and how they operate the interface. You can see exploring at first, then people trying to synchronize to make something together. And
when I count to three, we stop, right? 1, 2, 3. Woo! Yeah!
And people also like trying to break the rules of the interface, working all of them like working with just one instrument and playing around. Well, it was definitely interesting in the sense, and I feel that it was successful in the sense like people really had a fun experience with music. So I want to bring up something that Chris Beauty told me, and that it was very inspiring. He told me, your project accomplished something very difficult, making adults to behave for a while at least like children, taking them out of their regular routine. I think this is a very important idea for me and for the future of my project. So something to have in mind all the time. Some key points of this past project was definitely the playful interactions that arised. Providing a platform for exploration with a small set of rules, like it wasn't too hard to use the interface, and the rules were very few. So this provided a low-level entry to sound experience. The idea of collaborative exploration, discovery, and learning, something that happened with this interface, was also interesting. As a conceptual framework, I'm building my concept statement that probably is going to evolve into something else in the future, but for now it's investigating the social interactions in sound collaboration. And as a design question, how can technology facilitate collaborative sound experiences? Also, the idea of facilitating a loosely state of mind and openness is going to be part of my project also. This is like a conceptual timeline, how I see this kind of experiences. Provide a structure that basically is the space and the interface and the constraints of the interface. Then people start to explore, discover, and learn about it. Once they gain some knowledge, they communicate and share this knowledge to the other participants. And then after that, they start collaborating together. This is very similar to what was described by Salin and Zimmerman, the relation between structure and play. play is built upon a structure, but also is like opposing to the structure. It's like breaking the rules a little bit. So there is like emergent play by breaking the rules. In terms of who I want to work with, is novices and experts, and my idea is to provide a structure where both of them could feel like comfortable. And I guess that the way to do this is taking music as the primary goal and putting the experience as a primary goal instead. So okay, I could be an expert musician. Probably I'm not going to make like the best music with this interface, but I will definitely have a good experience with someone that doesn't know too much music as I do. So we can see this as having the collaboration in the middle. On one side we have the sound, on the other side we have the play, and technology is creating like a bridge between them. As a second layer, we have movement and the physical concepts, and on the other side we have visualization and performance, and all these concepts working together for collaboration. Some inspirations and precedents that are important for my thesis. The first one is any loosely activity like dancing, definitely, or the drum circle, or just playing around with friends and jumping. More in the art realm, the work of David Rockaby has been very inspiring. I'll show you part of the video. For me, David Rockaby is like an inspiration in terms of how he involves the use of body, music, and space at the same time. The React table is important for me in terms of the collaboration aspect, in terms of how more than one people can be using the same interface at the same time and creating music together. Also, the work of Theo Watson, it's very inspiring for me, especially the vinyl workout and the audio space installations are very relevant. So I want to show you a prototype I made last week. The objective was to observe communicational behaviors of players when engaged in creating a very simple collaborative sound piece. A little description, I provided them with this MIDI interface, and each one of the players operates one of these buttons. Each one of these buttons mapped to a different sound. So what I told them at the beginning is like, okay, what you have to do is to create a rhythm, but there is one constraint, is that you can only press one button and only after the previous player has played its own button. A little video about this.
Where do you go and wave back and forth? So you'll be in the middle of it.
So it definitely was interesting to observe how people with a very simple task building a strategy to tackle a common goal. Also, I could observe like different stages in the developing communication. Like, okay, first of all, I explore my interface. It's very easy. It was just pressing a button. And then we started to communicate between each other. Video communication wasn't solely verbal. It was also physical. They were all looking at the interface and looking at each other's hands. So they could also hear the sound. So there are different layers in the communication aspects. See Tom, he was moving his body, like trying to dance, so he was communicating something to the others. He was saying with his own body, okay, I got the rhythm, I got the flow, so try to follow me. And well, different communication types. Definitely we could see verbal, physical, and sonic kinds of communication. So this was my presentation. So I'm looking forward for the next steps. Thank you very much.